So this is what that we go across and familiarize with the practical applications of correspondence analysis. The platform what we are trying to use is IBM SPSS. There are thousands of platforms available. Since IBM is a doyen in this field and we're there for quite a few years, so that we'll be trying to take this particular software platform for exposing the world of correspondence analysis to you. The coverage, what I have planned is like this: an overview of correspondence analysis. I will not be talking too much on theoretical aspects of it. Why? Because you all might have learned regarding all these things maybe in your degree days or post graduation, or those people who had completed your research in coursework. I'm so sure that you might have gone in depth into it. Okay, so then I'll be coming down regarding the data considerations, then a little down to the questionnaire creation, because we have to be little careful in designing that questionnaire for collecting data for correspondence analysis. Then coding of the data, I'll be just showing it to you, even though that you have all the coded data sheet with you. Generating the preliminary output, and the second aspect is that the coding the data sheet for the correspondence analysis. So one more coding of data is there where you have to make it feel all free to apply the correspondence analysis. Generating the correspondence analysis output, interpreting the results, and we'll be taking into account all the almost all the expected problems that you can encounter during the phase of the analysis. And finally, as a last step, I have even created another more data, whereby if the data is not in shape of what is fit for the correspondence analysis, how that you can make a refit. If time permits, that also will be taking into account, so that all the existing data what you have already will be able to administer it with ease. There is a little bit of change also is required for that. So I'll be making you equipped to learn regarding what is the change that is expected. To have a peripheral idea regarding, or to brush up you all regarding the correspondence analysis, it is usually called a CA. You all might have heard regarding FAs or EFA that you might have heard of. It is actually exploratory factor analysis, which is one of the dimension reduction tool. Correspondence analysis is also in the same family, where we used to call it as also as a dimension reduction tool, which in short that we used to call a CA. So FA and CA factor analysis you all may be knowing, because those people who have completed your PhD, there is no PhD without a FA, factor analysis. So correspondence analysis is also from the same family, I would like to say. So or a reciprocal averaging. This is a multivariate statistical tool which is proposed by Hareesh and Jain. It is conceptually similar to the principal component analysis, which is mostly used in the operation of factor analysis. But the only difference is that in correspondence analysis, we use categorical data rather than a continuous data, as we try to use for factor analysis. So in a similar manner to principal component analysis, it provides a means of displaying or summarizing a set of data in a two-dimensional graphical form. You may be asking me, what is so great about correspondence analysis, or why that you have to, or for this particular workshop, that why that we have taken this into account. First and foremost, a reason is that it is not explored much. Even if you try to search in thesis or any of the graded journals, things like that, the application of correspondence analysis, you will not be able to see much. But of course, it is used everywhere. In marketing analysis, analytics, this has been used in the far extent also, where the application of AI, artificial intelligence, in terms of the correspondence analysis is used by almost all the product manufacturing organizations. These days, especially it is the era of technology where you may be playing with your mobile phones or laptops or all these things, and whenever customer preference is there, the correspondence analysis do have a greater role. So a very simple example also that I have taken for today's session. This is in fact a problem which speaks on what color means to you. So we all know that we all like colors, but the way that how we try to interpret colors may be different from what I interpret, may be different from what Venugopal sir thinks or Rajagopal sir thinks, or each and everyone. We have around 80 and odd participants. So what you try to interpret with respect to each and every color may be totally different in the individual perspectives of it. So color, we all know, is an integral element of human life. Different color depicts different attributes to different people. So my story today starts with how do we perceive colors. You may be thinking, what is so great in that? You may be knowing that the every product, how it is being colored, or the wrapper of a product, or the packaging of a product, or how the fonts, in what color that font is actually written. And in the way also, everyone may be representing an institute or a university or as such. So the way how your the name of the university is written, or in what color that you are writing the name, may be having some connotations. So everyone try to perceive an attribute with respect to different colors also. This was the exercise, and those people who had filled in, I got around 81 responses from the questionnaire of what is being sent. Sometimes more will be there, but yesterday night I tried to close it because a little bit of time is required for processing the data sheet. So the example what we are trying to do today is based on 81 of your responses only. I have not taken any response from outside. It is the responses given by the participants of this workshop. So I thank the coordinators for allowing me to collect the data also, and I thank all the participants also to share your thoughts also with us. So this is what exactly is the script of the today's session. So we are going to, or rather collectively, we are going to tell what color means for us. Okay. So if you want to have your individual perception also, I'll be able to generate it from the data sheet. But for the data sheet, what I have entered and given to you, I have excluded your names because since it is very personal, I have just excluded it. So data only is being sent to you, what color means to you, and how you try to associate different attributes. So if you want to speak further regarding the problem, what I've told you, we should be having a a base idea regarding what all variables was asked in the questionnaire. So the colors for this particular exercise, what I took was red, green, blue, yellow, white, and black. And there are around 15 attributes also I have taken. These attributes are not being decided by me. I have taken it from a study where these are the product attributes which you try to generally people try to associate with colors. There may be n number of other attributes also. Since we need an example and we need to limit the attributes. I have taken this directly from a study, which is again from a very graded journal. So we have attributes like vibrant, royal, trustworthy, elegant, attention, faith, pessimistic, hope, happiness, safety, illness, security, loyalty, nurturing, and warmth. Okay. So, as like Venugopal sir said in the inaugural speech, we are trying to find out the correspondence actually between the colors and the attributes. So, as the end of the session, at the last part of the session, we'll be able to derive on a pictorial representation, which will clearly map which color is associated with which attribute. So you need not learn much in depth into the statistical formulas or derivations or tables or anything like that. This is one of the advantage of SPSS as well, because they will try to give you the output in a very simple and a very robust manner, where people without much expertise also will be able to interpret it in the way that it is being presented. As you think, it is not a very easy job to just plot and give. But before we go, I'll be just now taking you towards how this particular thing is to be coded in a questionnaire, or if at all that you are having a hard copy of a questionnaire, how exactly that you need to create the matrix for the data collection, which is a must in terms of tools like this, because you have to build the shoe right in the shape of your foot. Otherwise, there will be a mismatch. So this is a basic thing what you have to learn before we actually start with the analysis. So, and what we are trying to start across is, if you are using a hard copy form, this is the form of the matrix that you can ask, so that you can avoid the number of questions. You can put it as simple as this. So what the respondents should do is that they can just tick. Say, for example, the first color that we'll try to take, it is blue. So if you feel blue as a vibrant color, you can just, the participants can actually just put a tick mark here, and whatever they feel like, they can even go on with doing a multiple thing also. So if they are feeling that blue is a vibrant color, they can just put a tick mark here, and they may be feeling like blue is a color of hope, then also that you can put a tick mark here. You feel that if blue is a warmth, then also that you can give a tick mark here. So this particular response may change from person to person. If my feeling is this, somebody else may be actually feeling that sometimes blue may be royal. So they may be putting a tick mark here. They may be thinking that, okay, blue is a very elegant color, so they may be putting a tick mark there. So it can vary. So if you have more number of respondents, I'll be just able to tell you 81 responses are there, and when we try to generate the output, we'll be able to understand the differences or the variation in the response. We may be feeling that black is always a bad color, or no, it may be dull, or no, it may be illness, or no, it may be something like that. So we may be feeling like that, but people who are there who may be thinking very drastic to what we think exactly. So we are trying to accommodate all the responses of all the participants who had participated in this particular survey, and we are trying to account for all the variations what they have exactly told, and we'll be able to tell what the result says at the end of the analysis. Okay. So now, since this is COVID time, and majority of the data collection is happening through the online forms, you may be thinking that how that we have to do it. Even if you try to use Google Forms or SurveyMonkey.com or any of the online data collection tools, so how that you have to give this in any of the online tool is what I'm just going to tell you next. So you all maybe might have experienced using the online tools, but the problem is that if you are not using numbers to denote your values, if you try to input the same data, because whatsoever the tools that you are using, the output or the like responses will be coded in an Excel sheet or probably a CSV sheet, a dot a CSV format that you all may be getting. So what you can do is, if you try to if you are not able to decode it in terms of numerical values, you may be getting all the responses as a string type of a variable where alphabets will be entered. It will be very difficult for you to again convert all the alphabets to numerals. So as far as possible, if you are using Google Forms or anything, try to take the data in the form of numbers itself. So here numbers are not involved. So people may be giving a tick mark. So wherever tick mark is there, you can mark it as 1, and wherever there is not a tick mark, you can mark it as 0 as well. Okay. So if you're going to use an online form, what exactly that you should do, I'll be just going it across. I'm just stopping this screen share. I'll be taking you towards the another thing. You all may be knowing, I think my screen is visible. You can always start a new Google form. So Google Forms will be like this. Okay, an untitled form will be there. I'm not going into the intricacies of it because you all may be knowing how to give the name, all such things. But what I am trying to tell you is the type of question that you have to select for. In multiple choice here, there are so many forms that you will be able to see. What you have to choose for is multiple choice grid. So if you use multiple choice grid, the advantage is that number of questions can be drastically reduced because you may be able to get, or you will be able to take the data in a matrix form, and downloading is very easy. Conversion is also very easy. So you need not do anything. And if you are trying to use Likert scales also for questionnaires, this is the easiest way. You can always go for multiple choice grid. Okay. So you can have the title here. I'm not again typing the title or things like that. I'll be just showing you how that we have coded the data. So the basic details that you can type it there. So the first color what we are going to show for is actually the blue color. So in rows, you can type all the attributes what I have given you. So we have used, in fact, vibrant, royal, trustworthy, things like that. Yeah. So here you can type vibrant. I think you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes.
all the attributes in rows that you can type. Okay. And in column, what you can do is you can just type the numbers 1 or and 0 or something like that. And here, if you go and if you try to give a description, okay, tell the respondents what is mean by 1 and what means by 0. So if you do like this, the advantage also I'll tell you. If you don't do like this, it will be coming like opted, not opted, opted, not opted. It will come like that. And when you download your Excel sheet, it may not be seen in numerals, it will be seen in alphabets. As you all know, SPSS will not take into account alphabets for analysis because it will be treated only as a string variable. So if you have a string variable, you will not be able to go on with any type of analysis. Okay. So 0 and 1 that you can do it like that. And I'll be just showing you how that we have taken the data sheet, what we have collected from you. I'll be just taking you across that. This is the data sheet for the BRIM workshop. Okay. So it will be at the end of it, it will be looking like this. Okay. So the attributes will be there on your left hand side, and the vote that you have to select. And here it is clearly written that if you are opting for an attribute for the color mentioned, mark 1, else you can mark 0. So if you think that blue is a vibrant color, you can always click on 1. If you are not feeling that blue is a vibrant color, you can always click on 0. Okay. So this is the response sheet. Also, I'll be able to just show you. This is the summary of the response sheets. So these many institutes that we have, this is what exactly it is. So vibrant, royal, trustworthy, elegant. This
You
is
can
how
hold only that much. You go on.
you can actually see all these things all across. So the data what you are getting will be like this. And at the end of it, you'll be able to download the data also. So if you click on download the responses, what all responses that it has been already stored, that you can download it in an Excel sheet in the format of .csv. And this .csv format you can directly upload into SPSS as well. So that job will be so easy for you. So now I request all of you to just open the data sheet what I have given to you. So this is the SPSS coded data sheet. I think people who are participating in this may be knowing about these things. So please try to interact with me in the chat box also. So if you are all ready with your data, you can just respond to me so that I can start the next process. So as you all know, this is the variable view what I'm showing it to you. So on your right hand side, on your left hand side, you have all the variable names, and with the associated color, which is actually coded all across with that. So the first thing actually speaks about the blue color. So we have around 15 blue attributes, then 15 red attributes. Likewise, we are going down and ending up with the black. Okay. So this is all across, and the labels are also clearly being described here. So now that in the label, what we try to explain is actually all the labels are there, which is same as that of the variable names, and I have given values. So if you have opted for a particular attribute, one is the code mark, which I have directly downloaded from the Google Forms. And if you have not opted for a color, the SPSS sheet or the Excel sheet will automatically code it as 0. So here the advantage is that we need not convert the alphabets into numerals. So it is already converted in the Google form, and we are using the same Google form for the analysis. So keep it in mind when you are using Google Forms, always try to use numerals as the options. Why? Because if you are using other alphabets, again, you may require a conversion process to get it converted to in the SPSS readable format. So you can avoid that confusion, and you can save the time if you prepare questionnaire in this form. Then all are nominal measures, because opted, not opted is all categorical, and all are in the nominal measure also. If you try to see it across like this, you can see only binary, entries 1 and 0s only that you will be able to see. And this is the alphabetical coding actually for that. So if you try to click on this particular show the value labels, if you try to click on this, that you'll be able to understand. So any version of SPSS version 18 and afterwards, you'll be able to see a icon like this, or those versions which are prior to 18 maybe having another kite like picture will be there. If you try to click on that, you will be able to see it like this. Okay. So now what we have to do again is, so this is the first sheet. This I have directly coded this particular sheet from Google Forms. I got it as a an Excel sheet. So you all may be knowing how to code or export an Excel sheet from into a SPSS that you all may be knowing. For your information, I'll be just telling you. You can just click on the data, a new data. Then you can go for open a new data, and you can just go and find where Excel things are being entered. So here that you can click and you just click on open, so that a dialog window will be open, and the first line that you have to click a tick mark. Read variable names from the first row of the data. This is the normal way of doing it. I have just told you that's it, because I know that now you all may be knowing how to import the data from Excel. So now we are all ready with the base data. So if you get any data in SPSS, we have to just check for the accuracy of it, correctness of it. So for that, what we can normally do is you can just go to analyze, go to descriptive statistics, and come down to frequencies. Ashwati had asked, what is width and column? See, in fact, width actually tells about the characters which are used in depicting, because since we are actually using numerals, by default 12 numerals will be there. Since in this exercise we are only using 0 and 1, by default itself that we can keep decimal points. We don't require a decimal points here, so that we are putting the decimal points as 0. So this is only about the number, the width of the variable that you are trying to enter into. So nothing of a great concern, but since you have asked, now I have answered. And now that what we are going to do is we are going to analyze descriptive statistics. We are going to the frequencies. So now we are telling the software to create frequencies for all the variables what we have entered. Okay, so you please follow all across with me. You also do the same thing. You can just click on Control A. Okay. There is another more doubt from Anuja Sharma. Is factor analysis done in the same manner? And if we are going for paper survey, should use 1 and 0? Absolutely no. Factor analysis normally will be done on a continuous data, mostly on a Likert type of instruments. So instead of 0 and 1, you can use numbers from 1 to 5. So 1 to 5, because you all may be knowing 5 for strongly agree and 1 for strongly disagree. That form that you can go on with. That is why I was so specific in taking the data from you alone, so that you will be able to know how the data will be looking like. If I have abruptly I've started with the data, you may not be knowing how the data is being taken and what form that you have entered into. That is why I made you enter the responses by your own, and the same data is again used for the analysis. Okay, fine. So now you can select on. You can. Okay, you can use all the variables here.
Sir, you are muted.
Yeah, okay. You can click on Control A and you can drag all the variables to the right hand side. Every variable, you need not leave anything on your left hand side. Keep everything on your right hand side. Nothing else that you have to do. You have to just click on OK. So now can you see my output window? Are you able to see my output window?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. So many number of tables are generated. Many number of tables are generated. So what you have to actually do is this will actually give you the frequency table of all the codings what we have done. So for all the colors, for all the 5 colors into 15 attributes, that many numbers will be generated in fraction of a second. Okay. So now what we are concerned, we will not be able to do the analysis with the same SPSS data sheet. We have to create a data sheet extra, which will clearly cater for performing a correspondence analysis. So that is what you have to learn. This is the only difficulty in attempting a correspondence analysis. You have to create a new data set. Okay. So, and we will be using the output from the base file for feeding the correspondence analysis data set. So why that you cannot code it here also I'll be telling you, and why that we have to generate a new data set also I'll be telling you. So all those things that I'll be explaining to you in the next the time to come. And as of now, if anybody is having, you all were able to generate this frequency table. Can at least a few could respond to me in the chat window. You're able to do that, right? Okay, great. Fine, that's good. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to create a new data set. Okay. So you all can follow with me, because this is the crucial aspect of applying correspondence analysis. Whenever you have any doubt, you can stop me then and there and you can ask. If you try to learn the logic of this to any data, any existing data also, you'll be able to understand, or you'll be able to convert those data into correspondence format. Okay. So this is more important. You try to understand the concept, how that we have to convert the data set. Okay. So now what you can do is you can just go to file, click on new, click on data. So we are going to enter a new data sheet, or create a new data sheet, whereby we'll be able to enter data which is required for correspondence analysis in the format what is required. Okay. So now in the problem what we were discussing, we were trying to associate or correspond certain attributes with certain colors. Okay. So from the problem itself, the two types of variables, it is very clear for us. One is color and the second one is attribute. So the first and foremost thing what we have to create is, we have to create a data space. We have to create a space for the data to get entered. Okay. So the first data what I am trying to enter, or the first variable I am trying to enter is you can just type color. The second type of variable what I am going to enter is attributes. Okay. So these are the two variables what I am trying to enter. So you have color and you have attributes also. Okay. These are the two things what I am trying to enter into SPSS. The label also that you can give, color you can give, and attributes also you can give. Okay. And now you have to tell SPSS that how you have coded the colors and how you have coded the attributes. Okay. So what we can do is, we can just go click on the values and click here. Okay. So what we can do is, you type one and you type blue color. Okay. Then you click on add, so that 1 is equal to blue. SPSS will be knowing wherever you have typed 1 in under the variable color, it denotes blue. Then you can click on blue, you can type the next color, red. Okay. So likewise, you should be able to type all the 5 colors here. So I did it. I'll be just sharing it across to you so that others can also follow. So I have now made the entry. So I have typed 1 is equal to blue, 2 is equal to red, 3 is equal to white, 4 is equal to green, 5 equal to yellow, and 6 equal to black. You also please do it, because we cannot move further if you are not doing the coding. So please, all of you, you do the coding also like this, so that I'll be able to go next. So 1 equal to blue, 2 equal to red, 3 equal to white, 4 equal to green, 5 equal to yellow, 6 equal to black. Okay. So you will be able to do that. And if you have done with that, you can click on OK. So the next aspect is what you have to do is you have to name all the 15 attributes just like how you did for colors. Okay. So what you have to do for us, you have to type all the 15 entries. It may take some time, but it is a must that you all should do that, because there is no point in not doing it. Otherwise, you will not be able to do that also. Okay. So I'll be just showing you how that we have to do that. Yeah. This is how it is. So 1 is vibrant, 2 is royal, 3 is trustworthy, 4 is elegant, 5 attention, 6 is faith, 7 is pessimistic, 8 is hope, 9 is happiness, 10 is safety, 11 is illness, 12 is security, 13 is loyalty, 14 is nurturing, 15 is warmth. Okay. So now this is the data sheet what we have. Okay. Now you go to the data view. On the left hand bottom corner, you'll be able to see the two views. What all is highlighted in yellow color is the view what you are seeing. So now what you're seeing is the variable view. If you click on the data view, it will be highlighted in yellow color, and you'll be able to see color and attributes. Okay. So now we have to go for a logical thinking. That means for every color, we have to accommodate 15 attributes. Okay. For every color, we have to accommodate 15 attributes. So first of all, what you can do is you can number all the attributes. So one, you always should keep your value labels into numerical position, into numerals. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to enter the data. If you click on, if you click one time, it will be showing as a alphabet. Again, if you click, it will be automatically becoming numerical. So what we have to do is we have to type all the attributes first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay. So this 15 attributes actually applies for all the individual colors you have. So we have to give that many provision. So first color is actually red. So keep typing 15 times. Okay. Now, if you try to click on this value labels again, all the combinations of, blue is the first color. All the combination of blue is now accounted. Blue vibrant, blue royal, blue trustworthy, blue elegant, blue attention, blue faith, blue pessimistic. All the blue colors got accounted here. Okay. Now you can just scroll all the entries, click on copy, click here and do a paste. So the next 15 will come. Next 15, you just try to mark 2, 2, 2, 2 15 times. Okay. Likewise, you please do it for all the 5 variables. So this 1 to 15 will get repeated 5 times for all the colors. So if you just try to, you give a click here, blue is done. Now red is also done. Now, likewise, you give for 3, 4, and 5, 6 times. There are 6 colors with us. So 6 colors into 15 attributes. So you have to do it 6 times, all the 15 entry copy paste, and 1, 2 repeatedly, that you have to do it 15 times. Okay. So likewise, you please do it. Okay. So now what exactly you have to do is you have to click on the value labels here. You have to click on the value labels so that all the alphabetic entry what you have coded will be shown. Okay. So now you have to take certain values from the base data sheet, from the base output what you have generated. So I am just taking you towards the output what we have generated. So I am going to the output window, the first one. Are you able to see the output window? Are you able to see the output window?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
we can.
Yeah, good. So now this will be showing in the data sheet what I have sent to you. There are no missing variables, so the missing will be all made as everywhere. No, it will be 0. So you need not worry. It is such a lengthy table. 81 data got entered into it. So 81 is the valid entry, and missing entries are actually 0. So now what we have to do is we have to actually take into account. We have to actually take into account the opted frequencies here. Okay, I repeat, we have to take into account the opted frequencies for vibrant blue. Okay, I repeat, you just take into account of 41. All out of 81, 41 respondents said that they are associating vibrant attribute with that of the blue color. Okay, but on the other hand, 40 people had not opted it also. So we are not bothered regarding how many had not opted. We are bothered regarding how many had opted, the positive stimulus of it. Okay, so keep it in mind, 41. And now you just go to the other window where we have, so blue vibrant is the first table. Here you type 41 and you go to the variable box, and here in the variable you type frequencies. Okay, here also you can type frequencies. Nothing else that you have to do. So we have created a third variable by name of frequency, and in the data view we are telling SPSS that blue vibrant color 41 takers were there. Likewise, you go to the second table, blue royal, 56 people had opted for it. So you type 56 here. Okay. Now you go the third one, trustworthy blue, 46 people had opted. You type 46 here. Now the fourth one, elegant blue, 53 takers are here. You type 53 here. Now for the next one, it is blue attention. 34 people had responded. 34 is there. Then the next one is blue for faith. 45 had opted. So you type 45 here. The next one, it is 13 had opted for pessimistic blue. So you type 13 here. Okay. Then hope for blue, 47 had opted for it. You type 47 here. And now happiness for blue, 48 again had opted. So you keep 48 here. In order for you to understand the variables, I have made you to change this to value labels so that there will not be any mistake. If you make any mistakes here, your analysis will also go into utter flop. So please be very careful in entering. There is no hurry here. You take your time and enter. So blue happiness is done. Then safety. If you want to toggle between the views, you can use Alt and Tab. So that Alt tab, if you present, you can toggle down between the views so that it will be very easy for you to change between from one tab to the another. It is Alt tab. So now what we have to enter is blue safety. Blue safety, it is 34. So I have to make the 34 entry. Then blue illness, it is only 9. So 9 that you have to click. And next one is blue security. Blue security that you have 37 there. You have to type on 37. Blue loyalty, you have 48. So you type on 48 here. And next one is actually nurturing. So nurturing is 38, warmth is also 38. So 38, then again a 38. If somebody is there for you to read, it will be so good. So warm. So we are all done with the blue. Likewise, my dear participants, you have to do the other entries. Altogether, we have around 90 entries. So you take your time, there is no problem, but don't make any mistakes, because if you make mistakes, the output will be different from what I am trying to generate. It can add confusion. So please try to do it. Toggle your views and try. So now we are going to attempt the correspondence analysis. So our objective is to find the correspondence between colors and the color attributes. Okay. So colors and the color attributes. So what we have to do next is we have to go to analyze. Before that, you have to go to the data. You click on data. All of you, please follow me. Click on data. Come down to weight cases. I repeat, go to data. Come down to weight cases. Come down to weight cases. So here you click on weight cases by. You click on weight cases by. So the current status it will be showing. Current status is do not wait cases. So as of now, the software is not giving any weight for any of the variables. So we are telling the software to weight the cases. So click on frequency. Click on frequency and drag it to the right hand side. Click on frequencies and drag it to the right hand side. I can repeat it. Go to data, come down to weight cases, click on weight cases and click on frequencies and drag it to the frequency variable. Drag it to the frequency variable and click on OK. Click on OK. So now if you go again and do the same thing also, it will be showing the current status, weight cases by frequency. It is already applicable and applied. So you can just cross check it whether what you did is right or not. Again, you do the same thing. Go to data and click on weight cases. So normally it will be shown here that weight cases by frequency is already applied. Weight cases by frequency is already applied. So click on OK. Now you can go to analyze, come down to dimension reduction, come correspondence analysis. There is another thing called multiple correspondence analysis. You can do it by optimal scaling. This is also a new technique which is not explored that much. So all these things that you will be able to, you can explore it also. So you can take a screenshot if you want. This is the path diagram. Analyze, dimension reduction, correspondence analysis. So click on correspondence analysis. So they are asking about what is your row variable and what is your column variable. So row variable is the color. You can drag the color to the row variable. The row variable is the color. You can draw a weight cases means we are trying to do the analysis with two variables only. We are trying to use attributes and color only for the analysis. So if you want SPSS to take the data or the frequencies also all along with the attributes, you have to weight it, because in correspondence analysis you can only accommodate rows and columns. Frequency variables we will not be able to accommodate. So that the frequency we have to weight it all along with attribute as well as to the frequencies. So that is the meaning of weighting the cases. Rashmi Kansal, I trust I have addressed you. So now you have given the row here, and now what you can do is you go to the defined range. So the minimum, we have altogether 6 colors entered. The minimum entry is 1, the maximum entry is 6. So give the minimum and the maximum. I repeat, once again, I can repeat from the starting, and you can go to analyze, come to dimension reduction, click on the correspondence analysis. Row, you drag the color to the row. So 2 question marks will be there. That means the minimum and maximum they are asking. Define the range, click on 1 for the minimum value and 6 for the maximum value. Click on update. So all the categories will be shown here. So constraints, we are not actually taking any as the constraints. So make it as such only. Don't do any type of changes. You click on continue. Then click on attributes. Drag to the column box. There also you can see 2 question marks. So you can define them also. So we have 15 attributes. So minimum entry is 1, maximum entry is 15. Okay, you have minimum entry 1, maximum entry 15. So you click on update. So all the 15 entries will be shown here. Okay, then click on continue. So now you go to the model. For the time being, you click on chi-square. The distance, the measure is chi-square. The normalization method is symmetrical. Normalization method is symmetrical. By default, dimension in the solution will be 2. Don't make any change to that. Keep it 2 by default. So nothing we are doing here. By default, it will be chi-square. Keep it the same thing. By default, the dimension in solution will be 2. Don't change that. Rows and columns, all these things will be there, and normalization method also will be symmetrical. Don't change that. Click on continue. Go to statistics. Go to statistics. The first 3 will by default will be clicked. You click on row profiles and column profiles. You click on row profiles and column profiles. Click on row profiles and column profiles. Click on continue. Go to the plots. Go to the plots. By plot will be by default it will be ticked. You click on row points and you click on column points. ID label width by default it will be 20. Don't change that. Plot dimension, display all dimensions in the solutions. By default it will be clicked. Don't change that. Don't do any change there. So if you have done that, click on continue. I repeat, model if you go, don't make any changes here. Continue. Statistics if you go, click on row profile as well as column profiles. That is the only change what we have to do. Go to the plot, you click on row points and column points. That's it. Click on continue. And now we are going to trigger the fire. Okay. So just click on OK. Now many tables will be produced. Don't get afraid by all these things. 3 beautiful picturization, your diagrammatic representation also will come. So don't worry by seeing all these things. It is so simple also. So I'll be explaining one by one. Okay. So now what you have to do is the first one is the correspondence table. Okay. This is what Rashmi ma'am had asked, why that we have to weight the frequencies. If you are not weighting with the frequencies, all these columns will be left blank, because we in the analysis we are not telling software to load the variables. There is no option for that. So since we don't have any option, we are trying to tell the variable to actually load it. So it will weight it all across with your color and the attributes. This is actually called the correspondence table, and the entire diagrammatic representation what you have is actually all along with. So I think you can see my mouse movements, right?
Yes, sir, we can see that. Sir.
Yeah, good. Okay, fine. So now the first line, the first row that you take, this is the blue color, and how much of the responses are all across different attributes what we have done. So if you just try to move across, see blue royal is having a weight of 56. Then if you come elegant, again 53. Then if you come across, then there are not much of a loading. So people had mostly opted for royal and elegance with respect to the color blue. And the total active margin is all across 587. This may be the altogether total. So correspondence table will actually give on what is the loading that people had already told with respect to the attributes and the colors. So this number represent what exactly is the responses for that. And now the second thing is actually the row profiles, which is again given in terms of active margin. The total active margin will be 1. You need not worry about such figures. The highest loading is what actually that you have to look for. Even if you don't understand anything from these type of tables also, there is nothing to worry, because the pictorial representation is easy. So I'll be just explaining you about the pictorial representation first, and then I'll come to the tables. This is again with respect to the column of the profile, and the summary table, there is something for us actually to look here. Okay. So the first one, what we have to look for is the proportion of the inertia. So the dimensions, the proportions, all these things I'll be explaining once I explain about the pictorial representation. I'll make this picture a little more clear to you. Just a second. So I think now this picture is a little more clear. So now how that we have to interpret this picture. So now you can see a clutter here. Okay, yellow, green, blue, white, it is almost cluttered. But if you try to see black, red, and with respect to white, you see the distance, how in what a distance that it has been spread across. This clearly states that black color attributes, what people had attributed, is distinctively different from this clutter and probably this clutter. It is the same with respect to red also. But if you try to take the case of yellow, green, and blue, there are much more of a similarity because it is in a single cluster. White is little moved from the blue, but it is again a little more nearer, but again it is not near to this particular cluster. So apparently what we have to interpret from the first symmetrical normalization of raw points is that people perception about or attributing different attributes all along yellow, green, and blue is somewhat similar. Not exactly similar, because still there is a difference. Okay, but black, white, and red, it is drastically different. Okay, now we apply your logic also. If you try to, because black and white, it is supposed to be opposite colors that we used to. Red, sometimes we may be attributing many more things actually to red, but yellow and green, almost that we may have similar attributes which are associated with that. And the analysis says that blue is also not so different. Okay, so yellow, green, and blue, it is actually almost having similar attributes which can have a cross effect on each other. White is totally different, black is drastically different from all the colors, red is also drastically different from that. And when you treat from black to white, the distance is because the difference is also far off. Okay, and if you try to see, there are two dimensions written. This is dimension 1 and this is dimension 2. If you want to analyze little more in depth, it is not required actually. It is not exactly required, but I'm telling you, you can actually keep the coordinates also. If you try to do a double click and if you try to keep both the coordinates also, if it is difficult for you, then you just don't worry about such things. Just a second. Okay. You can keep the coordinates also like this, because this will be originating from the 0. So now you can convert it into 4 quadrants. This is high, high, then high, low. Likewise, that you can, if you want only. If it is not required, there is no compulsion that you have to go on with all such things. Just a blank diagram itself will serve your purpose. Okay, so this is the figure of what you have. Now, if you come to the next diagram, this is the column profiles. I'll make it a little more clear to you. Okay, fine. So now this is clear. Now you just see happiness, warmth, nurturing, trustworthy. You can see a cluster here. So all these attributes, even though by meaning they are different, but in terms of people perception, they are somewhat similar. It is not exactly similar, but they are somewhat similar. But you try to take the case of pessimism, illness, attention, vibrance, all these things are drastically different also. Okay, so clustered, which means that there is not much of a difference. What it is spread differently are actually different from that of the crowd. Okay, so this is what is actually exactly the interpretation of the column point. So we have seen the row points in isolation. We have seen the column points also in isolation. Now, the third one is actually very interesting. So I'll make this figure also little clear to you, where the colors we will give the blue dots, and for attributes we will represent it with the red dots. Okay. Now this clearly explains the association or the correspondence. See how beautifully black is assigned with illness and pessimism. Red is with attention and vibrance. Red is with attention and vibrance. Green color, if you just see, it is with happiness and warmth. Yellow is also associated with happiness, warmth, and security also. It is a great understanding. It is yellow is associated with security. And you just see blue with nurturing, trustworthiness. This is what I have read from the last table. And white is all related with faith, loyalty, and somewhat associated with hope. You just imagine how beautifully this data is not created by me. This is the data which is given by all the participants of this workshop. And you just see how beautifully that it has come. So now you are able to understand which all colors are actually associated with what all attributes. Likewise, this is having huge lot of application. This can be applied in HR, in psychology, in economics, in management, in finance, whatnot. Where all possible, you'll be able to. Only thing what you require is the know-how, because you have to decide on what all variables that I should include and in what all way that I should collect the data from. Beautiful results it will give. And one more thing I'll tell you. This concept which is already been converted into a paper, the same idea only, which is co-authored by me and one of my foreign author friends. And fortunately, that author's son is attending this particular webinar from Sri Lanka. So I'm so happy to see you here. We are actually using this type of tools for some international conferences also. The possibilities are there, like the acceptance rate that you can drastically improve if you try to use tools like this. So I think Sajib, all the participants, the coordinators are actually making them enter the session. There is no problem with respect to that. Fine. So I trust you understood by this. Okay. So 3 dimensions that we are trying to take. First is the raw point. where we are trying to assess the colors alone. Second one, attributes alone, and third one is the combination of attributes as well as for the colors. So here the association that we will try to interpret in, and those things which are close are closely associated, and which are far are actually not that associated closely. So with this, we'll be able to explain a clear-cut explanation, and the same thing is actually being explained through these tables. Okay. So
Sir,
we have, yeah.
Sir, sorry to interfere,
Yeah, no
sir. Sir,
problem.
can
Please.
you just transfer the host rights, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
I can.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Just a second. Yes, it is done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Fine. So the same thing is actually being explained by this particular table. Okay. So if you try to just take the case of this table, see, if, say for example, black we can take. Black, you see, illness is the maximum 43. Pessimistic, it is 38. So that is what is, it is clearly depicted, represented in the diagram, what you exactly see. And there is a statistic also associated with this particular thing. Here in the summary table, you have to look for two important things. The first one is actually the proportion of inertia accounted cumulative. So we are actually deriving for two dimensions. So this is actually representing 88.9, or almost around 90% of the inertia, which is a good sign for this analysis. And second thing is that this chi-square is actually significant. You all may be knowing that if the value is less than 0.05, the test seems to be significant. And because where this blue is actually the point of inertia dimension, all these things that you'll be easily able to understand, because by using this tables only, these diagrams are actually created. And if you want to know further regarding each and every minute aspect of this table, why I am not explaining us, because point of inertia to explain all these things, it is little complicated. But for the sake of explaining, for the sake of reporting in a paper, for the sake of reporting in a project report, these things are more than enough. And if you want any scientific reference for this, it is very easy for you. Go to analyze, come to the correspondence analysis again. Here you will be able to find a help menu. If you try to click on the help menu, it will open a tab. I think my tab also you are able to see. Am I right?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah, fine. So it will load the SPSS help menu, and interestingly, a window will come. There you can click on show me. If you click on show me, step by step, that you will be able to see all these things. Okay, I think you are able to see the whole sort of thing. So you can stepwise that you can go. If you click on the arrow button here, if you can go to the next the process. Likewise, they are explaining with the help of an example how to go about the syntax. All those things step by step you will be getting, and interpretations also will come. I'll show you. Yeah, see, this is the proportion of inertia. This is what I said. Nothing great in that. What you have to actually look for is which of the dimensions, which are the attributes where it is loaded high in dimension 1, which will be placed in a dimension 1 in the picture. Nothing so great about it. But if you want to read through, if you want to refer further, it is available here. So it is in with so convincingly that they have explained it.